I do think that the industry is potentially shooting itself in the foot here. The thing that is most likely, I think, to bring about the sort of draconian regulation that people who are optimistic about AI technology are most scared of is some sort of disaster. Any sort of disaster that actually leads to loss of life could lead to a very big change in attitudes and lead to maybe more draconian regulation than is necessary from anyone's point of view.
And even if you think your company's never going to make that mistake, you might think these cowboys down the street are exactly the kind of people who could make that kind of mistake. And they need some regulation that will stop them from ruining the party for everyone. On top of that, sometimes we talk about someone having conflict of interest. These places are very conflicted. We talk about various forms of biases and prejudices that people might end up having, and it would be very difficult to actually keep straight your actual prediction on this thing as opposed to these other incentives that you're facing.
I think for me, when I'm thinking about SB 1047 or kind of any proposed regulation that we might put in place now, I'm thinking of this as the very first step in a very iterated process where almost certainly there's going to be a whole lot of problems that we're going to identify with it. It wasn't written quite right, but we'll just improve those over time. And you got to start somewhere in order to begin learning like what might succeed. And I think the people who are very against it, they think that whatever we put in place now is going to be like potentially there forever.
Yeah, I think so. One approach to that is to have explicit sunset clauses. So you could say, this is going to be a rule that's going to last for the next 2 years. And
it has to be renewed.
It has to be explicitly renewed. There could be successor bills or something like that. Why isn't that the conversation? If they say, oh, we don't want to be stuck with this thing for 10 years, it's like, well, that's an argument for putting a 2-year sunset clause on the bill. It's not an argument for vetoing the bill.